Hey Vikings fans, Tyler here to talk to you about Pick and Shovelware and pickandshovelware.com. T-shirts, sweatshirts, all kinds of fun, different Minnesota sports clothing items and apparel options. We got a deal going with them right now where if you buy whatever you want, enter the promo code Bleeding Purple, all one word, and you will get free shipping. That is promo code Bleeding Purple, pickandshovelware.com. Make sure you go ahead and check it out. Okay, let's start the show. Welcome in to Bleeding Purple, a podcast about the Minnesota Vikings. My name is Tyler Haig, and I am joined, as always, by Mr. Adam Patrick. Hey, that's a nice shirt you got on there, buddy.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty cool.
People listening, it's a Bleeding Purple podcast shirt. I forget that we are just audio for a lot of people. We do have a video as well, but yeah, we got shirts. Shirts, man. Shirts available.
Shirts
go get them.
With words on them to let all your friends know about the only Vikings podcast you should be listening to.
I mean, it's the only podcast I listen to. That's maybe not a good way to judge it. Okay, so since we last talked, the Vikings won in dramatic fashion, I might add, a preseason game against the Seattle Super Chickens. And real quick, the most obvious takeaway is the kicking and all that. But aside from that, what were some of the things you noticed, some of the maybe things that you noticed that other people may not have noticed as far as deeper down the depth charts kind of stuff?
Well, did you see anything? I think if the Vikings want to keep Kyle Sloter, they shouldn't put him on the practice squad. So I think he's pretty much earned a spot on the active roster. Trevor Siemian has shown me nothing. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. I understand the experience aspect of Trevor Siemian and stuff like that. That's keeping him as the backup or whatever, but I don't really know what he would offer to the Vikings if Kirk Cousins were to go down or anything like that. Some people
literally tweeted, I don't know how you could watch these two players and still assume that Siemian was number 2 on this team.
Sloter, he is going against the third team defenses, so that's something to take into account because, Josh Allen has looked pretty good against third-team defenses in the preseason. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I would have liked to see Siemian play maybe second last week to see, what he could do. But apparently he looks way different in practice. Like, Siemian looks better than him in practice. And
he must, man, because I thought that was my biggest takeaway from that game was how good Sloter looked. Like, the one throw that he had, the touchdown throw to Beebe was – that is like
right on the money.
That's that's an NFL throw. There are not a ton of guys that
was on the move
that can do that.
He was going the other way, threw it not across his body, but the other way.
Had to totally shift his weight around and
it was right on the mark. And Beebe's another guy. I think he deserves a spot on the team. I think unfortunately they might put him on the practice squad. They might have to make some room for some other guys.
There's no way he makes it to their practice squad, right? Somebody else would.
Somebody else would sign him? Yeah, I think that might be one reason why they would keep him on the active roster.
The easy call is the Patriots picking him up, and he just goes and does that. But I honestly...
There's a bunch of teams. The Jaguars just lost
there's no way.
Receiver.
No way he makes
season. So
practice squad.
I think it'd be wise to keep him. I liked him before the offseason even started when the Vikings got him. I like the way that he plays. He didn't have amazing stats in college, but in college a lot of the times that has to do with who's throwing these guys the ball and the type of offense.
Northern Illinois was he?
Yeah,
so
type the type of offense they're in and stuff like that. So
exactly a quarterback.
There's that. George Iloka looked pretty good for basically joining the team a couple days before. I mean, he pretty much knows Zimmer's defense, so he didn't look totally lost out there. But for just being on the team, he looked pretty decent. He helped cause an interception and
had a tip ball right away.
Yeah, so I think he's got. I think Mike Zimmer would pick him over someone like Jaron Kearse.
You just have to think, like, to make a move like that and then cut him when he's got a history with just doesn't make any sense.
And
why would you even make a move in the first place?
Especially when you signed him for the veteran minimum.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about further because that happened after our podcast last week.
Mm-hmm.
And the other things, I guess it was Rock Thomas not playing.
Yeah.
Really?
Very interesting.
That was, I don't know if he was hurt or something.
I heard a theory floated out there by a certain host of a certain podcast who
did hear that. I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, said that they're trying to hide him. No game tape, so they can put him on the practice squad. And that sounded kind of feasible. I mean, that's a little bit conspiracy theory.
Especially because how he's looked this preseason so far, and there wasn't really any injury buzz about him, so it kind of makes sense to do that. But he's been getting stuff. I've seen stuff being written about him, Rock Thomas, outside of Minnesota, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to do that, keep him kind of on the down low and being like, oh, I don't know, Rock Thomas, never heard of him.
It's hard to compare the two now that Boone played so much in the third game and Thomas did not, but after 2 games, who would you have gone with between the two? For me, it's Rock Thomas, and it's
after 2 games.
After 2 games.
Just because I feel like he offers more versatility, and I feel like he's a rookie, so he has opportunity to even to add weight and stuff like that, and add power. And he went to Auburn. People forget that he played running back at Auburn, so that's a pretty good school to be a running back at. And there's something else. Oh, I just did see that Mike Boone and Rock Thomas and Mac Brown are all going to play on Thursday. So they'll all be in action for the preseason finale.
So maybe he was dinged up and they didn't want to. I don't know. That's going to be a tough decision for them to make, but I don't know. I'd go with Rock Thomas. It was more impressive.
Whoever doesn't make it, I wouldn't be surprised if they kept 4, but but at the same time, they have a lot of other areas to worry about.
Yeah, it's so hard for me to believe that Mike Zimmer is going to be okay with keeping an extra running back that's not going to play much versus a defensive.
Especially with running backs, I feel like they're easier to find during the season when you need a third string guy to just pick up and make up the slack, other than
I would agree with that completely.
Doing that for corner or offensive
and the job
lineers.
That this offense, well, I guess we don't really know because of the new offensive coordinator, but judging from what Shurmur did and what they have kind of been doing in the early preseason, what they're going to ask their running back to do, it's not going to be easy, but you can find somebody to fit that role if you need to late in the season. Kirk Cousins, not looking so hot. What do you make of the $30 million man?
30, yeah. I actually like the way that I like the way he played on against Seattle. I was actually encouraged because he had some pretty nice throws. He had an underthrow to Diggs there. It looked like he hesitated a couple times, but I think I remember Mike Zimmer talking about afterwards about how Seattle game planned for it looked like they game planned for at least on the offensive side of the ball. So they might have done the same thing on defense. And
they were sending a lot of
they were
blitzing quite a bit. It wasn't like a vanilla scheme.
And
it was they were bringing different looks.
I don't think the Vikings offense is showing anything. It doesn't look like they're really showing a whole lot with their offense, just running blah plays, couple, sideline throws, not really.
Sure. I would agree with that completely. And here's the other thing is because they're so vanilla in their play call, I feel like it makes the offensive line's job harder. Because those issues, I went back and watched the Seattle, and Kirk Cousins, all of the throws that he was making that didn't look good, that looked like poor throws, that you would almost always had a guy coming at him, like where he wasn't able to step into a throw because of Edison on one of them. He wasn't able to, he was pressure on this side on one that he sailed, So
it looked more like he was trying to find guys open instead of knowing what, where guys are going to be, like specific plays and stuff like that. And where it's just like, all right, I'll just try and find the open guy.
For sure. And also, just kind of being a slave to what they're dealing with on the offensive line. Because, like, that starting group, and then you got Seattle bringing pressure, and that,
Yeah. And people, it's easy to forget, too, that they left 6 points on the board. So that the first-team offense pretty much they could have generated 13 points in the first half. Mm-hmm. They had 4 drives, and one ended with a touchdown, 2 ended with missed field goals. So they look pretty decent for preseason. And I know people are freaking out because Kirk Cousins isn't throwing like for 300 yards in the preseason, but I don't make much of anybody in the preseason other than really injuries.
Yes. There's so many different factors that can go into a quarterback not playing well. It bothers me so much when people look at one performance and are like, oh, it's garbage. Or, even 2 preseason games for him. It's like, well, no, he hasn't thrown many touchdowns, but he was in for a series on that game. And in this game, he had like a JV offensive line and wasn't able to, he wasn't able to move the ball, man. It happens. But
there's a lot of guys on both sides of the ball that aren't playing. You're not getting the full strength from each side. Yes. And I was looking back at like 1998, and Ryan Leaf had way better preseason than Peyton Manning. And then we all know how that turned out. And the interesting thing from that, too, 98, teams used to play their starters in the 4th week of the preseason.
Really?
Like, I remember looking it up, and it was like the Vikings had like Brad Johnson in there in like the 1st and 2nd quarter of the 4th preseason game. I'm like, whoa. And Randy Moss played and stuff. And I was like,
man.
Oh,
interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I can
there must have been for one team in the 4th week, and teams are probably like, oh, okay, never mind.
We don't need this any longer. That's really interesting. Obviously, elephant in the room from that game is Carlson and his not-so-hot performance. Evidently, he said he knew what he did wrong when he missed it, but he
said technique or something?
Yeah, and then he just did it again. He did the same thing twice. He missed 2 kicks. I kid you not. Okay. That is like the actual. It's like, well, stop doing that then. Come on.
Don't do that.
He's going to be the kicker going forward, obviously. Yeah. Do you foresee him, if the playoffs, fast forward, playoffs are starting.
Oh, man.
Is he still the kicker?
We're doing this.
We're doing this.
We're doing this.
We're doing this right now.
3rd
week of the preseason, bro. Get in it.
We just talked about how the preseason doesn't matter, and then we're like, will he be the kicker? And
you will overreact. I will get you to overreact.
Yeah, I think he will. I'm not worried. If he was doing this in the regular season, yeah. But like for kickers, it's same thing. They're trying to work things out, figure stuff out. I tweeted this out earlier or a little bit after. Like Justin Tucker, he's missed 3 kicks. He's the Ravens kicker, and he's like the NFL's most accurate kicker ever. He's missed 3 kicks this preseason. Adam Vinatieri's missed a kick or 2, I think. But, it didn't look good when you had your boy Sebastian on the other side booming 55-yarders.
Dude, that's what a real kicker looks like, my friend. See him? Judd Zulgad had the perfect tweet where he's like, he should have a cigarette in his hand and a beer, while he's doing it. He looks like it's perfect. But yeah, dude,
I was like, it's like he do anything other than bicep workouts? Because
no need.
His jersey was just like a little tight on, and it was like an extra large.
He looked like, it's like so ill-fitting. Like his whole uniform, he just looked like an imposter.
Yeah.
Like he looked like
a Madden created player.
Yes.
That you make that can play like every position.
Sure. He looks like the B-list actors who are always the bodyguard guys that are the extras in the football movie where they just throw pads and a shirt on. And they're like, I'm big. Football, right? Yeah, no, I hear you. And then he boots.
You're big. You're
here's some football pads. You can do that. Janet
I'm not
55. Kaboom.
Not worried. I mean, he made an extra point. But I think they just wanted Forbath out of there anyway. So, they might have shot themselves in the foot by getting this guy, but we'll find out. I'm not worried about it right now. It starts to become a problem in the season. Yeah, then it's time to worry about it. Well, I do think Zimmer needs to settle down a little bit on being yeah, I'm worried.
Yeah, I told him we weren't going to kick another extra point to make
dude,
so that he'd get it.
It's the preseason. He's already a rookie kicking in the NFL. Kickers are fragile.
That's what I was and that was going to be my next point was, if we weren't talking about a 5th round pick for a rookie kicker, we'd be talking about how Kai Forbath is probably going to miss a bunch of kicks this year, or insert kicker X. It doesn't matter who it is. There's 2 guys ever who you don't have to worry about. Adam Vinatieri and the Anderson that isn't Gary. Morton Anderson. He was pretty good too. Everybody else...
Gary was pretty good except for that one game.
Incredible. It's horrible. It's terrible. Oh, but yeah, we'd be doing this anyways. I don't know. The kicker is just so easy to pick on because they're so goofy. They're so much different than the rest of and then you spend a 5th round pick while you have offensive line injury issues. It's so easy. It's too easy to bullshit.
Yeah, I think Mike Zimmer's just scarred from, Blair Walsh missing that kick in the playoffs, so he just has no patience for any kickers,
I think that's right. Honest to God, I think he's at that point where he's kickers are weird and they're different and I don't need them. Yeah, exactly. And I don't care who's our kicker. Who is our kicker this year? It doesn't matter. Get him out of here.
You're not going to make it anyways. We might as well, try and get 2 points.
Maybe that's what we need is for Zimmer to just be like, you know what, screw it. They're telling me that the numbers make more sense for us to go for it, go for 2 more often.
So, ruin the kicker curse by just getting rid of the kicker.
Yeah, don't need him.
I think kickers should actually go back to the one bar on the helmet.
I would agree with that.
Because, they don't need protection on their face.
No.
Just one bar. Do the one bar.
I think it should be mandatory, personally. I think the one bar kicker thing should be a mandatory.
Then someone's going to get their face shattered and be like, see?
No, because here's what will happen is the kickers won't try and tackle people. They'll just do what old kickers used to do, which is you fall down at their feet and just hope that you can grab on.
Just make it look like you're trying to tackle them and be like, oh, he went, sorry.
Yeah, totally. See, and all these kickers now, who's his face? Is it Vanderjack? But wearing all the armbands and stuff. You're not a real football player. You're a kicker.
Oh, Prater.
Was it Prater? I don't know which one. So these kickers, they're all wearing the Under Armour bit.
Oh,
and they got the armbands, and they got
the punter. Who's the punter that's on the Broncos now? He was on the Raiders. Oh, Marquette King.
Yeah.
He's all dressed up and stuff. Dude, you're a punter. Come on.
But he's dressed like a real football player with all the accessories and whatnot. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Stop posing like you're going to tackle somebody because you're not.
Get out there and kick.
They're not paying attention. Yeah, so give him the one bar and give him the floppy Sam Bradford shoulder pad sleeve. Let him be different. Okay, yeah, kicker issues. What do you do? All right.
It's never ending battle.
Yep, exactly. We should... Yeah, never mind. We'll talk about kickers more. I was going to say we should keep track of how many times. Probably every episode.
This is a Vikings podcast, so yeah.
Probably every episode. That's what we do. Pat Elflein is not going to come off of the PUP list until the first week of the season, or he's going to be off before the season starts, is what we're hearing, correct?
Yeah.
A little bit concerning with...
Doesn't mean he's going to be playing in week 1. Though.
Exactly. Because if he started the season on the PUP, then it would be week 7, correct? That would be his first eligible week. We cannot have that.
Yeah.
So he's got to be off of that list.
So he might not be healthy enough for week 1, but he's probably going to be healthy enough for week 3 or 4.
Yeah. So. And we probably pretty sure that he's not going to be playing week 1 because they just made a trade for Brett Jones, center from the New York Giants, a 7th round pick, which was, what up, 7th round pick? I can get behind that. Even if he's bad, it's only a 7th round pick. We're about to cut a kicker who was a 5th round pick.
No, it's still in the NFL. I think he was drafted in 2013. So he's still in the NFL.
Started a bunch of games last year at center. He's capable of playing left guard. So the assumption is that he's going to be the center while Pat Elflein is out, and then Pat Elflein comes in and he goes to guard. Correct?
I think I would assume so. It's either that or Cornelius Edison, and
that's what I want. That's my jam. Cornelius Edison starts at center, get him in at left guard, got more depth, And then when
you like that better than Tom Compton?
Yeah, and then when I like Edison better than everybody on that line right now. He's my
better than Riley Reef?
I mean, no, but of the guys who are not the
backups.
Yeah, the non-starters that are going to have to play, he is without a doubt the one I trust the most to do his job. So I think he should keep starting, and then when Pat Elflein comes back, no movement, just switch centers to your second year amazing center and go about your business. Super Bowl, here we come. Is that crazy? Am I crazy?
No, I mean, it's something the Vikings are going to have to think about because, has Tom Compton really been that great? But I mean, the only reason he would probably be in there week one is just because he's been there for all summer and off-season training camp and stuff. So that's the thing with Brett Jones. He's only going to have 2 weeks before the season starts. So, you're not sure how comfortable he's going to be starting. But, that's for the Vikings to figure out because, it's good to have a bunch of centers in there when you have a brand new quarterback. It's always good.
Just be swapping them out willy-nilly, no problem.
Center and quarterback relationship isn't important.
It's no big deal. No chemistry needed. No chemistry needed.
But I looked at some of the replies when the Giants announced that they traded.
Those were fun to read.
Brett Jones, and most of the Giants fans were like, "Wait, what? No,
why are we doing this?"
Yeah, so that's always good when you see the other fans upset about a move that your team just got. So apparently he's pretty good in pass protection, run blocking. Yeah, but I mean, the Vikings just need another body that can play more than just left guard,
body. Yes.
Center, and because what's that guy Josh Andrews, I think. Mm-hmm. He's the third string center or something, and they haven't really heard anything good about him. I think he's kind of hurt actually.
Is he? Okay.
But yeah, so it was a move that they had to make. They needed more depth on the offensive line, if not just for center, but for guard too.
Yes.
So, and they traded him for a 7th round pick.
Yeah, and this is not the first time that they have brought in a guy who does this, who can play multiple positions for.
No, they did it with Nick Easton.
Exactly, and it seems like when they acquire new dudes, that's the goal: is to get guys who can play multiple positions, so you can shuffle the pieces if you need to. That's a good sign. All of this is
be able to acquire a guy with starting experience for a 7th round pick. That's a deal you should make every time.
100%. 2 claps for Rick Spielman. Thanks, bud.
So thank you, Pat Shurmur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think that this was I owe you for one of my favorite tweets of the weekend was this is Shurmur being I was really excited to be a head coach and sorry about my effort for the NFC Championship.
Zimmer's probably hey, Pat, you know how we got you that head coaching job? You want to throw us a bone here?
Need one.
We're not playing you guys this year, so
All right.
Just.
For a 7th rounder though. 7th rounder is what kicks it. Because if that's a 5th, 4th,
apparently they needed to move Brett Jones to be able to sign Odell Beckham because that's what happened today. Yeah. Beckham got his extension.
Crazy money.
That was the necessary.
Did you see it? I just saw that he got it. I didn't see what the
5 for 95. That's the total value. Guarantees were 65, but I didn't see the fully guaranteed amount. I'm sure it's around 25 to 30. But it's good that's a move they had to make.
So. Yep. 100%.
They would have been very, very dumb not to do that.
Definitely. So coming up after this preseason game is the cut, because they don't do the cuts in, staggered anymore. One fell swoop.
Yeah.
Would you like to do predictions on your 53 man roster? I've got printed sheets. I've got notes. Wow. I'm ready, bro. I'm ready.
I made a spreadsheet, so I've got that.
Spreadsheet.
All set up. Yeah.
You got to one up me, dude.
Yeah. I actually forgot some people today, so I was
sheets apart.
Yeah. So I didn't do the practice squad. So.
No, me neither.
But I did. I actually, when I first did it, I had spots left over, so I was like, "Oh, that's pretty good." So I'm ready. We can go down quarterbacks. We can do all the position groups.
Yeah. So first of all, how many you have them keeping? 2 quarterbacks? 3? 2?
3.
3.
I got 3.
Okay.
I got all 3 on there.
That's how I would do it as well.
Slaughter was on the active roster last year, the way he's played, I don't really see any reason to put him on the practice squad and risk somebody signing him this year.
I think it would be so foolish for them to move on from him. I after that game, I'm not like from Ohio into him the way one person from Ohio is into Mr. Slaughter, but
yeah.
I'm a much bigger fan after this. Sorry, that was weird, but I'm a much bigger fan of him.
Friends with John
after this preseason game. So I'd be very bummed if they got rid of him. So I went through a Bleacher Report article where it was like, here's kind of how teams usually do the roster spots.
Yeah.
Very different from how I would have done it, I guess. And I'm planning on, how many guys on defense do you think Zimmer is going to keep? Is that a 26, 27, 28 scenario?
I think I have 25.
25? Okay. All right.
Let me see. 7.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the process. I just wanted to know how you got your numbers. So you just basically went through and like we're checking off dudes. You're like, I think he's gonna make it. I think he's gonna make it.
I just did it in my head. Like I put pretty much every player that I could think of that was gonna make it, and then I went back and like saw who I missed.
Yeah.
And be like, maybe this guy, then like special teams and stuff.
So we had similar. I didn't go like the special teams route, but I kind of broke it down position in that way where I was like, okay, what are all the guys at this position that I can...
I did one position by position. Okay. Like I didn't go like through the roster and be like, yep. No.
Yeah. Okay.
Every position is just easier that way and be like, do I need more space? Do I not?
For sure. Okay, cool. So we had similar, we didn't talk about it, but we had similar processes. That's not the right word. That's not a word. Okay, so how many running backs did you keep?
3.
Latavius Murray, Dalvin Cook, and...
Mike Boone.
Mike Boone.
Yeah, I got Mike Boone. Who you got?
I'm going Rock Thomas.
All right, we can mark these down and see who got the better prediction on Monday. We can recheck them.
Okay.
I think I'm going to post my 53 or whatever tomorrow.
Are you? Okay.
I'll do it after we share the podcast or whatever.
Excellent. Got to have that exclusivity.
Yeah.
All right, I'll send you what I got after I think about it a little bit more. No, I'm kidding. I'll write it down. Do you have like fullback? Do you have any fullback?
And CJ Ham. I can just include
CJ Ham. Yeah, okay, that's what I was going to go with next. Okay.
Because I forgot about him initially. I was like, I got running backs, wide receiver. What am I missing? And I was like, oh, CJ Ham.
There were a couple of those from me where I was like, oh man, that would have been a terrible mistake to leave him off of this roster. Holy cow. Okay, wide receiver.
How many you got?
Who's going to make it? Laquan is in. Thielen is in. Diggs is in. And that's pretty much it. I have 1, 2, 3, 6.
I have 6.
Okay. What are your 6?
I've got those 3, and then I've got Kendall Wright, Chad Beebe, and Brandon Zylstra.
Ooh.
No Stacy Coley.
See, and I want them. I want that to be but I think Stacy Coley is gonna.
But he hasn't played.
I know. I agree with you. I'm 100% with you. I don't think he deserves to make the team either. But for some reason, I feel like they like him and they're gonna keep him.
Like I think of those situations. Like it's great that you guys think he's good and he's good when he's healthy and stuff. But he's not healthy, so you have to go with somebody who's more reliable. I feel like, and Chad Beebe can return punts and stuff too, just like Coley, and he had a good return on whenever they played. What was it, Friday?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah.
So
man.
And I think like if they put, I think the practice squad factors into this too. Like if you put a Zylstra or a Beebe on the practice squad, I think somebody's going to snag him up.
I think so too. The only thing that I'm kind of not sure about wide receiver wise, I don't know if Kendall Wright is going to make the team because he has been so.
I think he will, just because he's $1 million. That's all it's costing him, and he's a veteran. So if somebody goes down, they can, like if Diggs or Thielen goes down, they can put Wright in the slot because that's pretty much where he's best at.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because Diggs, he's known to miss like 7 games during each year. So
that was why I didn't want them to give him the extension.
Yeah, his health it's always in question. If he could stay healthy for a year, he could actually be worth that contract.
He could, yeah. I mean, there's a chance, but that'll never happen. Tight ends. Who you got?
I got 3. Kyle Rudolph, David Morgan, Tyler Conklin.
You think they're going to keep Conklin? I am not sure on Conklin. I feel like there's...
Who else would they...
I feel like there's 1 or 2 spots that they could use as like fullback, tight end, kind of like hybrid-y thing.
I think you need,
but using them on special teams?
Yeah, I think you need 3 tight ends, so...
I don't know. All right.
Because they run 2 tight end sets a lot.
Yeah, that's true. And if one of them gets hurt, yeah, that's a great point. All right, you're right. That's the 3. You don't think that... I don't know. Tyler Conklin... So here's my thing about these tight ends. It feels like every year they draft somebody who, whether it's Bucky Hodges, Tyler Conklin, these like wide receiver, hybrid, tight end...
Yeah. He's a bigger guy, though. I feel like...
Conklin is, yes.
Conklin's bigger than Bucky Hodges is.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Conklin is the most tight end-ish of the ones that would fit that mold. But do you think... I see those guys get drafted and I'm like, man, you're going to get cut.
Who was the other guy?
I can't remember. Bucky Hodges... Was that 2 years ago?
He got picked up by some guy. I remember he got picked up by the Giants. He was a draft pick. He was like a former basketball player.
Oh, yes. Well, they all are. Every tight end in the draft.
I can't remember his name.
God, but they've done it a few times and tried to get that guy, and it never works. So I just assume
it's a copycat thing because they see Jimmy Graham and Antonio Gates and they're like, oh, maybe this is the next Jimmy Graham. It's like, nah, probably not.
No, probably not.
Offensive line.
Offensive line. The big one.
Got 9 guys.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 and a question mark. Who do you have? Go. You go first.
It was close, but Riley Reif.
Okay.
Mike Remmers. Pat Elflein. Rashad Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Avion Collins.
Well pronounced. Well done.
Tom Compton.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Isidora.
Okay.
Brian O'Neill.
Okay.
And Brett Jones. And I think they'll put Cornelius Edison on the practice squad. We'll try to, at least.
Yeah, you're probably right. I just have Edison in and Isidora out, but I don't care.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's very possible that that's not the way. That's just, after watching these preseason games and being so concerned about the way the offensive line was going to look, Cornelius Edison has been a wonderful beacon of light that I have enjoyed. I don't know. He's not a world beater. He's not great, but I just think he could be, I don't know.
Solid.
Yeah, it could be a solid piece that they could need later on. But you're probably right. He will probably be on the practice squad because that's a guy that you could hide and get. Okay, who else? What else? Where are we now?
Defensive ends.
Defense?
Defensive ends.
Griffin. Hunter. You think Robinson's going to make the team?
Yeah.
I heard that was Sports Talk Radio today. There was a very serious, like, hey, he might not make this team.
He's on the team.
There's no way you get a guy to restructure his contract that many times and cut him, right?
2 years ago.
Yeah, like, and then come back, dude, and then you were just kidding. Yeah. We'll see. Go fish,
he'll be in it. He's a veteran. He knows the defense. He'll be in there. Because he can play more than one position, too. So you got those 3, but then you got... I got 5 guys.
5 at DN?
Yeah.
Who else do you got?
Tashawn Bauer and Stephen Weatherly.
Okay.
Weatherly. I just think they like those 2 too much to get rid of one or put one on the practice squad.
I think you're right. I had a really tough time with this because it got to where I was comparing Bauer, Weatherly, and some of these other dudes. And I was like, I'm not really a defensive line guy, so I can't really like look at what they're doing and be like, definitely this guy has the most, upside, I guess, for lack of a better term. But yeah, I can't argue with you. I mean, I agree with you. I think they like Bauer and Weatherly a ton. I don't think those guys will necessarily get cut. I don't know, though. It's so... So I think at some point you're going to run out of room. Well, I just had all of the D-line.
Oh, mixed in?
Mm-hmm.
So did you have either one of those guys?
I didn't have Bauer or Weatherly, but I did have Jaleel Johnson, and I think
that might be what they do, because Jaleel Johnson and Ifedi Odenigbo can play on the outside too, so that might.
Those are the guys that I had in.
But I don't know. I like Bauer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike any of these guys. If that makes sense. Like, there's not a guy on this where I was like, I'd rather he didn't make the team. Like I like.
He's not a good guy.
Yeah, he's a bad person. Just get him off the squad.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I said, I just don't have enough of a D line.
Yeah.
Like,
I did forget about that though. About how those two can play on the outside probably too if they need him. And Robinson can too, but he's not the fastest guy in the world.
Yeah. He feels like if Robinson plays, it's going to be in.
I think those two, Weatherly and that Weatherly, Bauer, and Odenigbo are the guys kind of on the bubble where, like,
for sure,
if they don't make it, wouldn't be a surprise, and if they do, wouldn't be a surprise either.
Mm-hmm.
So, who did you have as your defensive tackles then?
I had Richardson. Linval.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, yeah.
You didn't have him on the. Yeah. Had him getting cut. Who else? Where Johnson, and then that Perry character.
No, Jalen Holmes.
Oh yes, he is on my list right here. Sorry.
I was like, I think it was a third-round pick.
My bad. I did that on the offensive line, Rashad Hill. Just nothing. Didn't remember. Oh, my God. That would have been horrible. Horrible to forget.
Oh, and you have David Perry.
Mm-hmm.
So do you don't have – do you have Odenigbo?
I had Odenigbo on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 D-line total. And then a question mark. I was doing a lot of question marks at the end of my list because I was like, maybe this dude, maybe not.
I have 10 defensive linemen.
Okay. Who do you want to go linebacker next?
Yeah, I only have 4.
Whoa. Barr, Kendricks, Gideon, and
Eric Wilson.
Man.
I mean, I did have originally. I had Antoine Williams.
Mm-hmm.
But only for special teams, and I'm like, I don't think they're just going to keep a guy just for special teams because I had to find room for somebody else I can remember. But I was like, yeah, I don't think they're going to keep a linebacker just for special teams. They don't really have a lot of linebacker depth, but
no, they don't. And man, that's tough because then you would wind up cutting.
Well, because then too with 4 linebackers, you can think and look at like the safeties, and you can put Iloka or Harrison Smith, as like a hybrid.
That's a great point. And because that was initially when he was signed, that was one of the most intriguing things that I heard was that Zimmer used to do like a 3 safety look in Cincinnati with that group. And if that is maybe the plan, that would obviously change things a lot. And there has been complaints about the linebacker depth that would kind of create its own depth because you don't need as many guys to be playing. 2
and positions. You can even do that. You can move Terrence Newman to safety if you need to switch those guys around and stuff. So
that seems a little bit more flexible. That might actually not be. That might be a good
linebacker. Actually, I think Zimmer said a little while ago they don't have a lot of depth at linebacker. Mm-hmm. So obviously he doesn't feel too great about their backups.
Yeah, and then if man, that's very possible that they could do that. That would be really interesting.
And if Williams
entered my head.
If Williams gets cut, he doesn't have to pay that fine. So.
Ooh, interesting. That would be nice. Well, he probably wants to pay the fine and be on the team. But.
Yeah. Make a little more money that way.
DBs?
I got a lot of those.
Yeah. Who's on your list? So we got Rhodes, Hughes, Waynes, Newman, you said.
Yep.
Mackenzie Alexander.
Marcus Sherrills.
Oh, God. Holy.
You forgot about him,
I don't have Sherrills on my team.
Yeah. That's who I had to make room for.
Shame on me.
Because he's not on there for cornerback reasons, but to be punt returner.
Oh, I'm so embarrassed that I left him off. This whole
Minnesota
list is garbage.
He's a local too.
Man, that's so brutal. I can't believe I did that to him. Ugh.
I had one more.
Who else?
Holton Hill.
I had him on.
I just think it's too risky to put him on the practice squad.
They paid him too much money. He's got to make the 50. That's like he is built for 53-man roster and rotation. If not now,
put him on special teams and stuff.
Yeah, yes. That he feels like the cornerback that we usually see in the first round. You know, like a Waynes or where he's gonna do that, where they'll put boxing gloves on him early in the season, and then he'll look kind of garbagey halfway through.
Yeah, maybe he can take Wayne's spot next year when they have to figure out if they want to pay Wayne's, $9 million or not.
Mm-hmm. I'd be okay with that. I would be okay with that.
Side note on Wayne's, I hate that he backs off the line like 15 yards every time. Mm-hmm. And I guess like Zimmer gives his corners like the option to like go up and press. And he doesn't. Like, why do you not do that, dude?
Would you? I don't know. I'm sure his like goal is to not get beat deep.
Yeah, but he's fast.
Yeah, he is, and he's proven that he can. I don't know, do that,
recover and stuff. I don't know. He just doesn't like being physical. Maybe he likes to like deceive the quarterback and be like, "Throw it over here."
Yeah, he's open. Look at how much room I've given him. Yeah, maybe that's it.
And then it usually backfires on him because he's like, exactly. Oh, he's running a curl route. Oh, no, he's going deep.
And I'm burnt. Yeah. So that's it for your running backs? Yeah, safety.
You mean DBs?
DBs, thank you. What did I say, running backs?
Yep.
Oof.
So did you have 7?
I had Rhodes, Hughes, Wayne, Newman, Mackenzie Alexander, Holton Hill, but I had Sherrill's off.
You forgot about Sherrill.
Yeah, so that hurts a lot. But realistically, I don't know if they'll do this, but for safety, who do you got? Smith, Sendejo, new guy.
Iloka.
Yeah, Iloka.
And Anthony Harris.
And Anthony Harris, okay.
I think he's played too good to
get rid of him.
This preseason to get rid of him, yeah.
Do you think they like Curse more than Harris? You don't think so?
No.
I'm going with Curse. I think they like him.
Yeah?
And he's one of those dudes, he's one of the very few guys, when I went down to training camp this year, one of the few dudes where he just looks impressive. He's taller than all of the other cornerbacks. He's like 6'4".
That's Iloka. Iloka's 6'4".
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. He just feels like he looks like the kind of dude you wouldn't want to give up on. Because if he figures it out, he's going to be an absolute beast. But he hasn't.
He's not that wide, though. He's kind of lanky.
Yeah, he is kind of lanky. That's true.
And Anthony Harris, clearly bulked up this offseason. He must have gone on the Sendejo, only work out your arms plan. Him and Danielle Hunter, they all went in there.
Maybe that's a want. Maybe I want them to keep Curse. Because I think you're right. I think you're right. I think Harris is more likely to get that spot than he is, but I don't know.
I think just because Harris can play both safety positions, I think that's why they would keep him over Curse. Because I think Curse, you can't put him at strong safety. It can only be a free safety.
And Curse has got like kind of a history of like being disappointing and not what he's supposed to be.
Versatility. They're all about the versatility on the offensive line, defensive line, corners, receivers. If you're not on the field, you got to play special teams.
I mean,
they don't really want a whole lot of players just sitting on the bench.
Yeah, but
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they'll keep him. But I don't think they will.
I just feel like he's one of those guys that he could go someplace else and be just a total stud.
He could, but that's the risk you gotta. That's the risk you gotta take if you're gonna. But they have started.
And for a team in this position, there are a lot of good players. There are going to be good players that are going to get cut and go play for someone.
Yeah, they still have Harrison Smith and Sendejo's not too bad either. So
no, he's not.
It's not like they're being like, oh, should they keep Harrison Smith or Anthony Barr?
Yeah. It's a little bit different than that, I guess.
And then the specialists, I think they were picked during the draft.
Yeah. So. Yes, they were. Shout out to my man Quigley.
Yeah.
Preseason pick for Special Teams Player of the Year. You heard it here first. Bleeding Purple Podcast.
Apparently some people are worried about him, too, I think.
Amateurs. They don't know what good kicking looks like. There are a lot of people who don't like Sebastian Janikowski, too. But you see how that worked out. I've been telling you for months.
I don't know if they're necessarily worried about Quigley specifically, but somebody asked Prefer today about special teams, and now, they're not looking that great this year. And I think they were more referring to the missed kicks and then the horrible punt return coverage that Vikings seem to have with their backups on the field.
They have not looked good. I think Prefer hit the nail on the head where he's like, we have not been good. It's been ugly.
No.
It's concerning because that's a really frustrating way to lose games.
Oh, yeah. Especially when you're a team that likes to keeps things close. Those are plays you cannot have.
That is the thing that worries me most about this team going forward is that all of these games, because of the way this team is built, they're all going to be close. So there's going to be 1 or 2 games this year that they could have stolen from them because of a special teams player, because of a turnover, or because of stuff like that can really, I don't know. Or maybe we'll have a high-flying offense and 40 points a game.
That would be nice. And the defense would play like 12 plays a game and be super healthy.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Or they do the high-powered offense thing where it's like their drives are 2 plays and 70 yards and 6 seconds off the game clock, and then all the defenders go back in.
We'll see. Week 1's going to be tough. 49ers. I think it's going to be tougher than people think.
I wouldn't disagree with that. Have you been watching? How does Garoppolo look these days?
He looks good. He looks good. He can chuck it.
He can. They got good offensive coaches over there too. So
yeah, the thing about him is he gets the ball out quick. So it's going to be real hard for the Vikings to probably get pressure. Mm-hmm. So they're going to have to make sure that they cover guys real tight and stuff like that, or maybe throw some disguises. But he gets the ball there pretty fast. So,
do you think advantage or disadvantage for the Vikings that they're playing San Francisco this early in the season?
Oh, I think it's an advantage. I think it's good for the Vikings to play a team like that early in the season to see, what they need to work on and stuff like that. And I think it's good that they're playing a lot of those tough teams earlier, get them out of the way, like the Eagles and the Rams. If they're going to lose games, might as well lose them earlier in the year, before you get down to getting close to the playoffs and you need a win or 2 to get in there. I think they're playing the Bears and the Lions the last couple of weeks of the season. So, and they get to play Green Bay in September on the road.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go through our schedule prediction too.
Yeah, next week we can do a big, go game by game.
This off season has just flown by. Yeah. It is incredible.
2 weeks, and I think the Vikings game is actually going to be on TV where I live. So it's gonna be
how exciting!
Yeah, because
there's the weather there, by the way.
It's pretty rough. It's 80 degrees every day, low humidity, doesn't rain. It's pretty tough.
Low humidity. See, that's key for us today in lovely Minnesota.
You get that lake humidity.
Dude, it was
those
Bermuda tropical dew point stuff today. It was awful. Yeah. I thought it was honestly 90 degrees. Drove by a bank, 75. That was how bad the humidity was. It was so thick. It was so awful.
Okay. So you get chilly at night out here. It's 65. So,
but you can't watch all the Vikings games, and I can. So,
well, I can. I pay for to do that. But it's nice to see it on regular TV every now and then, where I don't have the game will return in 1 moment.
Oh, I hate those. And with the music behind it. Yeah. I'll sing that music all day if I'm watching something that this program will return shortly.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts. All right, so I guess Titans coming up. What are you thinking? Yeah. I mean, what are we going to look for? These is basically, there's not a lot to see because the starters aren't going to play, but what are we going to watch? The Rock Thomas, the Boons? Are we going to watch? What are you looking for? What are you interested in?
That kicker.
Kicker. Hey, great point. Me too.
That's really the only thing you need to watch. I think most of the positions are probably pretty much figured out by now because they have to make cuts on Saturday. But it's probably just going to come down to who's healthy. If people get hurt on Thursday, and then
because that would be the.
They didn't really have anyone get hurt on Friday. Was it Mike Boone left a little bit limping, but I guess he's okay.
Mm-hmm. Cheryl's I saw grab his hammy too.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yep. So and I don't know what's wrong with Mike Hughes because he's been out, but
nobody's talking about it.
I mean, they don't have to, so obviously the Vikings aren't going to do that. But yeah, I don't know what's up with him, so that's something to keep an eye on because Mackenzie Alexander's hurt too. So I don't think the Vikings want to open the season with Terrence Newman as their nickel corner.
Yeah, man, this team is. Do you think that there's a chance that this team, with all of this expectation and all of this stuff, that it could be injuries, that they just are injury ravaged and they don't even make the playoffs? Do you think that's a real possibility?
Way to be optimistic, by the way, but you are a Vikings fan.
I am.
But yeah, that can go for any team. You look at a team like the Texans last year; they thought they had things going.
Is another great example.
Yeah, and Deshaun Watson goes down, J.J. Watt goes down. Yeah, the Giants, Odell Beckham goes down. The thing is,
have all of their receivers hurt in that one game.
Yeah, they had like 3 guys go down in one game.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, so as long as the Vikings have, I think if they have Cousins and Cook and Thielen out there, I think they'll still be pretty difficult to deal with. That's how it is every season, though. You got to stay healthy.
It's true. And I think that is maybe
that's why Blake Bortles still has a job.
Yes. And I think maybe part of the reason that I'm so not panicky, but part of the reason that I'm so concerned is because they were so lucky with injuries last season. Even though they had some, by and large, their biggest, most important players stayed healthy, especially on defense, stayed healthy through the majority of the year. And obviously, at the end of the year, you can see what happens when they don't. But
side note for former Vikings, do you think Adrian Peterson makes the Redskins, and do you think Teddy Bridgewater is traded?
I definitely think Teddy Bridgewater is getting traded. I don't know about Adrian Peterson, but see, he always does this thing.
He's like, I'm back.
Yeah, I'm back. And everybody's like, he's in great shape, and he was running and wasn't even tired, and he looks like he's in the best shape of his life, blah, 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 blah. And then in 3 weeks, they're going to be like, whoa, this guy's a jerk.
Oh, he pulled a calf muscle.
Or just horrible to be in a locker room with when he's not the, like, alpha, dude getting all the attention. I don't know. So it wouldn't – I think he'll make the team. I think he'll play for him for the first 3 weeks, and then they'll figure out a way to do what New Orleans did last year and get him out of there.
They'll be like,
him or whatever.
Oh, we can't do anything because he can't do anything.
Yeah, and he's not interested in doing anything. That, I think, to me is the key, is that they're going to hey, man, love to have you. Glad you're here. Learn how to pass protect a little bit better. Here's how we do it. And he's like, I'm good. I
love how all the people get mad at me, too, online about, making jokes at Peterson's expense too, and they're like, "Why? He was great for the Vikings and stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, you remember this little thing he did when he got suspended for the whole year?"
Well, it's like he was good. I saw
OJ was good too.
Yeah, there were a lot of good players that the Vikings have had that people don't like. He was an MVP, but that one season he was an incredible football player. He
6 years ago.
Yes. But they never did anything. And to be perfectly honest with you, because he was on that team, it almost made them unable to do anything else from
without Brett Favre
standpoint.
They didn't win a single playoff game.
Yeah. And that was because they had Brett Favre.
Yep.
But Adrian Peterson is the reason the franchise is still in Minnesota. I just can't get into that. Well, I think Randy Moss is the reason. If there was ever going to be a move and something that kept them here, that was the time. It was Randy Moss. Team was being sold. Redrick Holmes, other guy. It was Randy Moss kept the team here. If that's an argument that you want to make. But to say that Adrian Peterson is the most important or one of the most important players in Vikings history, I just don't know if I can get into that. I mean, he was very, very good. But the Vikings have had a lot of very, very good players that just.
I think he benefited a lot from really being the only option the Vikings had on offense a lot. So he got a ton of carries because of that. I mean, he was good. He was really good during his prime.
I don't think anybody's trying to argue that he's not a Hall of Fame player because he is.
But you could look back at guys like Barry Sanders and stuff, and how non-successful those teams were that he was on too, just because he was their only option. And a bunch of stuff like that. Like if you build your team around a running back, you're not going to have that much success. Like,
I got it. Even with the Chargers. I got it. Adrian Peterson is Dwight Howard. He looks like he's the most important guy on your team. But when you build a team around that skill set and that ego, everything disintegrates. You might win a few playoff games. You will not win a championship. And there is no long-term future for a player like that.
He's not LeBron?
What's that?
He's not LeBron?
No, he's not. He's not. And even in like Adrian Peterson, that's a great way to put it. And Adrian Peterson is not Tom Brady, nor is he Aaron Rodgers, nor is he.
He thinks he is.
Exactly. And so did Dwight Howard when he was in Orlando trying to get coaches fired and like
L.A.
Yeah, all these things.
That worked out well when he went to the Lakers.
Dude, that whole season, because then they also had Steve Nash was
Steve Nash
for that team. That was a total disaster.
Everyone's like, "Oh, you're gonna do great." Yeah,
championship, no problem. Whoops.
It'll be fun next week. We'll have a final roster.
Oh, I'm excited. Yeah, and then we'll go through and kind of figure out what we had and what they wound up doing and all these things. And then I'm sure we'll be pulling our hair out about the kicking situation.
Preview.
Not you.
Hopefully not. Hopefully Carlson, he's going to be kicking outside, so I feel like he's more comfortable with that apparently. Hopefully,
Listen to what you just said.
Yeah, great.
That is the most Vikings kicker statement ever. Well, I think he likes kicking outside more because he misses inside.
Because the Vikings play 10 games indoors a year, so that's great.
Yeah, excellent. I'm glad he's less comfortable indoors. Carlson, man. I honestly, now that I kind of feel bad.
I did enjoy a writer at the Viking Age, Realistic Randy, his piece.
That was awesome, actually.
When he was like, Carlson is the kicker the Vikings deserve.
Yes, that was. I don't do that very often, but I tweeted him. That was like, this is really, really good. I really enjoyed that article. Good on you, Realistic Randy.
Enjoy his takes. He's not afraid to.
No, he's not.
Bat any bushes or anything like that.
No. Well, I got nothing else on my list, Adam. What do you got?
Okay. I got nothing. Just enjoy Thursday's game. If you really love the Vikings, it's worth watching. If you have a life, probably not.
Yeah. I mean,
it'd be probably.
Don't say that. We're both gonna watch it.
Probably be a good night to follow it on Twitter, because apparently every beat reporter feels the need to tweet out every play as it happens, as if no one is watching the game on TV.
I love it. That's for my smoke breaks, so I can go have a cigarette and I just look at Twitter and then I come back and it's like, interception, huh? Yeah.
And there's no such thing as Gamecast on ESPN or NFL Live, but let's tweet out every play.
That's
just
not
because
real time.
Because we need to.
You don't get the opinion of the beat writer, then they're not opinion tweets either. It's past to this guy.
The Vikings won the toss. They're going to receive. Okay, thanks. Really needed to know that.
I'll be watching. I'll be on Twitter. You're welcome for keeping me posted, so you can have a life while I watch.
We get paid to do it, so we have to.
It's different for us. I'm not excited about watching it. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's gonna be brutal.
It's gonna be a Slaughter and Beebe show.
Yeah, man, and if Kyle Slaughter keeps playing like that, I'll watch that all day. That pass was
Dynamite.
That's a great place to end. All right, bud. Talk to you next week. Let's go, bye.
Go. All right.